Which phone is better for you, the Umidigi F1 Play or the BLU G9? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison video of the Umidigi F1 Play versus the BLU G9. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking for this video, and there's a good reason for it. Both of these are really solid and awesome phones, and a lot of people just wanted to see how they compare to each other. Now, the Umidigi F1 Play is currently available for $219.99, and the BLU G9 is available for $179.99. So if you decide to go with the BLU G9, you will be saving $40. Both phones are available GSM unlocked, which is really nice because they're not locked to any particular carrier. So if you decide to change carriers for whatever reason, then it's not a problem at all because you can easily switch. Both phones feature 6.3-inch displays. They both have a very similar looking teardrop notch on the top, which I really like. So in general, I really appreciate and like the designs of these two devices. Now, the Umidigi F1 Play has a 1080p display with a 409 ppi and a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. And the BLU G9 has a 720p display with a 267 ppi and a 19:9 aspect ratio. So you are getting a much higher resolution display with the Umidigi F1 Play versus the BLU G9, but to be honest, I think both displays look good. I mean, really, if you looked at the BLU G9, you wouldn't be thinking that it has a low quality display, because it certainly doesn't. But even at 720p, it looks nice and crisp and sharp, and the colors are really good. Same, of course, goes for the Umidigi F1 Play. I suppose when you look at both phones head to head here, you can kind of tell that the F1 Play has a higher resolution display, but it is kind of hard to tell, to be honest. I mean, they both look super good. So my point here is that I wouldn't let the display resolution necessarily be a deciding factor between these two phones because they both look awesome. Now, down at the bottom, they both have a little bit of a lip, but the lip is slightly smaller on the Umidigi F1 Play. But you can see up next to each other, both phones are roughly the same size. The BLU G9 is maybe slightly taller, but hardly taller. And they actually just both look really similar up next to each other. The Umidigi F1 Play has a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and the BLU G9 has a 13 megapixel front-facing camera. Both phones feature 64 gigabytes of internal storage. You do not get wireless charging with either of these two devices. You do, though, get fingerprint sensors on the back of both phones, and they both work really quick. Here's the fingerprint sensor test for the Umidigi F1 Play. Really quick. And here's the BLU G9. Also really quick. So using the fingerprint sensor in the back of these phones works awesome for both of them. Now, the Umidigi F1 Play has a 48 megapixel rear camera and an 8 megapixel secondary camera, so a dual camera setup. We also get a dual camera setup with the BLU G9 with a 13 megapixel Sony IMX214 sensor as the main sensor here, and a secondary 2 megapixel camera. Now, this 13 megapixel camera can actually take photos at 52 megapixels with 4x interpolation. So essentially the software is multiplying each pixel by 4. So it's not quite true 52 megapixel photos, but in my opinion, megapixel count is kind of overrated. What matters the most are the results that you're getting from the actual photos themselves. And later on in the video, you're going to see a head-to-head photo and video comparison between these two phones, and I'll let you be the judge for which device can take the best photos. Now, with the Umidigi F1 Play, we get 6 gigabytes of RAM, and with the BLU G9, we get 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, here's a big difference, the processor. With the Umidigi F1 Play, we get the MediaTek Helio P60 processor, and with the BLU G9, we get the MediaTek Helio P22 processor. So you are getting a much better processor with the Umidigi F1 Play. However, the processor on the BLU G9 isn't bad by any means. You're still going to have a good experience overall, and it's going to work well for you. But I'll tell you what, you're going to get way better gaming performance and better performance overall with the Umidigi F1 Play. Also, the fact that this has 2 extra gigabytes of RAM is a major bonus. So if performance is a big priority to you, I would go with the Umidigi F1 Play, but you're still going to be getting a good experience overall with the BLU G9. Video recording with these two phones maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. With the Umidigi F1 Play, we get a 5,150 mAh internal battery, which is massive. And with the BLU G9, we get a 4,000 mAh internal battery. Both devices run Android 9 Pie out of the box, which is great to see, and they're both very well optimized with the software. The Umidigi F1 Play actually recently got a software update to fix the cameras on the device. Prior to that update, the photo and video quality from the phone wasn't as good as I felt it could be. So it's a good thing that they did implement this update, which has really improved the cameras. Now I've noticed that there are some review videos about the Umidigi F1 Play out there on YouTube that are reviewing this device based off of how the cameras were before the update. So I just want to let you know that everything you see from the cameras with this phone are from after the update. Now that we've gone over the specifications of these two devices, let's now compare the hardware. So we already went over the hardware on the front here, with both devices having a 6.3-inch display, both phones having a teardrop notch, and a 1080p display with the Umidigi F1 Play, and a 720p display with the BLU G9. On the left side of these two phones, we have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card. On the right side of the two phones, we have the volume rocker and power button. On the top side of the Umidigi F1 Play, we have the noise canceling microphone, and on the top of the BLU G9, we have nothing. We have a similar configuration on the bottom of both of these devices. We have the speaker, microphone, USB Type-C port for charging and data transfer, and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now we definitely have some different materials on the back side here. So on the Umidigi F1 Play, we have a polycarbonate material that's actually kind of soft to the touch and almost feels a little bit rubbery, which is kind of interesting and unique. And on the BLU G9, we have this reflective blue and purple material on the back. I think both materials do look really good. However, the Umidigi F1 Play doesn't really absorb fingerprints at all on the back, whereas the BLU G9 does absorb a lot of fingerprints. Of course, you can always clean it off if you want to, but it's always going to have fingerprints on it if you're not using a case. Now, of course, we have the cameras on the back here, we have the LED flash, and we have the fingerprint sensor. Let's now compare the photo and video quality of these two devices. Now, overall, I think both of these devices do a really good job at taking photos. Now, with the Umidigi F1 Play, I took photos at the 48 megapixel option, and with the BLU G9, I took photos with the 52 megapixel option, which of course takes the photos from the 13 megapixel camera and multiplies them by 4 with interpolation. Now, I thought that both devices provided good looking photos in general. It definitely seems like photos that were taken by the Umidigi F1 Play had a lot more contrast compared to the BLU G9. But I feel like the photos from the BLU G9 had slightly better detail and were a little bit crispier. So I think it's about a tie, to be honest, between these two phones. I'm really interested to know your thoughts about it, but in general, I think they both have great cameras, and I think overall you're going to be very satisfied with both devices as far as it goes with the photo quality. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, doing a video quality comparison between the Umidigi F1 Play and the BLU G9. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, doing a video quality comparison between the Umidigi F1 Play and the BLU G9. Really interested to know your thoughts on how the video quality compares between these two devices. So definitely let me know what you think. Really interested to know your thoughts on how the video quality compares between these two devices. So definitely let me know what you think. Let's now do a speed test between these two devices. So let's first start up the camera. 1, 2, 3, go. It looks like it was a tie, but the BLU G9 does seem like it was maybe slightly faster. Let's now start up Google Chrome. 1, 2, 3, go. And the Umidigi F1 Play was faster at starting up Google Chrome. Let's go to Yahoo. 1, 2, 3, go. The Umidigi F1 Play was faster again. Let's go to Engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the BLU G9 was slightly faster, but the Umidigi F1 Play wasn't too far behind. Scrolling is really smooth with both phones. Let's pull up this article, 1, 2, 3, go. And the Umidigi F1 Play was faster. Overall, I think both devices are really good, and I actually recommend both of them. I guess the biggest thing really comes down to the price difference. Of course, the Umidigi F1 Play is $40 more expensive, at least at the time of making this video. Again, definitely make sure to check out the links in the video description to see the latest pricing for both devices, as I know that both of these brands constantly change up the prices of their products. I think both phones are extremely stylish. They both have really good looking displays. They both perform well too. Of course, you are going to get slightly better performance with the Umidigi F1 Play because of the increased RAM and processor, but both phones are just really awesome. So again, I think this comes down to personal preference. I think that they both have really good cameras with good results with the photos and videos, and really both of these phones are just really good. So I want to know what you think. Which device do you prefer? Do you prefer the Umidigi F1 Play or the BLU G9? Which one would you buy if you were to buy one right now? Or if you own one of these two devices, let me know which one you own. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But this is Kevin here, and I'll see you in the next video.